You're listening to the Holistic Synergy Podcast. Join us as our hope is to inspire and empower individuals to cultivate a harmonious balance between spirit, soul, and body.
We are so glad that you've joined us, and we believe that true wellness is all about embracing every part of your life. By having casual conversations, sharing expert tips, and telling real stories, we are here to guide you and our listeners on the exciting journey to holistic living.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie.
Hi, and I am Anita. We are so excited that you're here with us today.
Yes, this is our podcast that we have lovingly named it.
Holistic Synergy.
Yeah.
Yes. We were trying to really find something. We worked on it really hard
Yep.
and wanted something to tie in together.
Yep.
Really, what this whole podcast is going to be about, and that is spirit, soul, and body, and
Exactly.
bringing it all together. And that's what we're going to do. So,
Yep.
we're kind of just going to, today, we wanted to jump on because a lot of people have asked why we decided to do this and what it's really gonna kind of the subjects we're gonna talk about, the issues that we're gonna talk about, and really just bringing it full circle, which you'll learn more about that in a minute as well.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're really excited about what God's doing and how He has brought Jamie and I together. So we kind of also wanted to really, before we start, we want to kind of share with you, I think, our heart. And we really felt like with women,
Yep.
but not just women, with
Men
men and
too.
women,
Yeah.
but in our churches nationwide, not just in a specific church, but how important it is that we feel like it is that these three subjects together. Because a lot of times when we're in a church, all we hear about is the spiritual,
Yep.
but there's so many other aspects that tie and how those three come together,
Right.
and they really they are one. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And so I wanted to read kind of what we talked about. Our mission statement's going to be
Yeah.
that our mission is to inspire and empower individuals to cultivate a harmonious balance between spirit, soul, and body. And so
Okay.
we're going to do a lot of holistic conversations,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm really excited about that because that's my part. As far as I am a family nurse practitioner and a midwife. And that's why we had started Full Circle was to provide holistic options to you. And that comes in the form of, IV treatments, vitamins. We can do other things like functional medicine and also cold plunge sauna, things like that, that really improve your life on a physical level. And that's why me and her are here together because there's so much more than just your physical part.
Yes. It's all really amazing to me how it all does tie in together.
Absolutely.
And that is what we've been Jamie's got me reading books that I've never read before. And it's amazing to me how when you start opening your eyes to the holistic
Side.
part of health,
Yes.
and what a difference it makes, but literally how God intended it to be.
Exactly. Not just one part of the body because we're not just one part. We also have an emotional part, we have a spiritual part, and our physical part. So that's why it's so important to take care of everything because as you see through this podcast, there's a lot of things that happen if you don't.
Yes, exactly. So kind of like I said, we wanted to introduce ourselves and to kind of give you a little bit of background of kind of where I think our passions are.
Yeah.
And so Jamie, I would love for you to talk a little bit more about. So you've told us you're a holistic
Mhm.
nurse, and she is also midwife. So this has been something. This is who she is, but tell us a little bit more in detail about COVID and when that happened, and when Full Circle became what it is
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started because we wanted to give an option to people to have treatments during COVID. We saw that that was much needed. People were not being treated and they were getting very sick. So we decided, or I decided, to go ahead and let's let's give this option to people. They may not all want it, but there's some people that do. And we were able to help hundreds and
Mhm.
hundreds of patients get better and get on the other side of COVID. So I wanted to give that option to people that did want that kind of treatment and to open other people's eyes that, hey, there's other options. Even when there's long haul COVID things, we can help with that. So that's why we originally started. And then we have branched out to more options to help people with chronic things, to get to the root cause of everything. And we just want people to feel better, but you don't necessarily have to be on all these medications. We can get to that, root cause or even treat you with certain things. And you just feel like a whole new person.
That's awesome. And one of the things that I remember you telling me about when I first met you was how during when COVID happened
Hmm.
that you actually were at a place where they were turning people away. They wouldn't even treat them,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Nobody
And
would. Yeah.
nobody would at that point. So Jamie really felt that stirring that God was the God-given gift that he had
Yes.
given to her, to be able to really touch people's lives
Yes.
at such and all of us went through COVID and know what that was like.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
yeah,
We just felt like as a provider, I should not let that happen, and I should be able to do as much as I can to help other people. So I just couldn't live with people going home and being sick and just pretty much waiting till something happened.
that's incredible. So that's kinda Jamie's background, and so then myself, I was at this point, we weren't even here in Georgia yet,
Yeah,
and my husband Tracy and I, we've been in ministry over 38 years, which is pretty unbelievable. It's like when you write down some of these things
you're
and you
like,
go back,
"Wow."
it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So we've been in full-time ministry over 38 years, serving with my husband in youth ministry, and we were pastors in Texas for over 19. And then actually, we were at a point where we felt like we were gonna just be parents for a little bit, and God had really, we felt in our heart it was time for us to just kinda walk back step back, and we felt like we did what God asked us to do
yeah.
our entire life, and, so we were gonna but, God always has his own ideas, so
Yeah,
but during that time, not knowing what was to come, but God always does, and, so after we resigned, my husband ended up having we had found out he had polycythemia, which is a blood disease, and we were told when we first found out about it that there were 2 things that could happen because of it, that he could have a blood clot, to his brain or a blood clot to his heart, that was just one of the effects from polycythemia, and so he was getting treatments and, had been feeling pretty well, and then we made a move out to kind of the country, and like I said, we were not retired in any way, shape, or form, but we had taken a step back from ministry,
yeah.
full time, and, he ended up having a stroke at the age of 55 in 2019.
Wow.
And so when that happened, of course, it rocks your world. And
Yeah.
we walked by faith, we walked believing that he would be healed. And so thankfully, God has done an incredible work in him. But fast forward a few years, here we are in Georgia. God opened up a door for us to come back in full-time ministry, which, like I said,
Yeah.
we didn't think we would. But we moved to Georgia, and he was still actually recuperating from his stroke. He had gone through all of his therapy. He was in-house physical therapy, for months, and so God really was healing, but he still wasn't
Way.
completely healed.
Yeah.
Definitely there were still some issues, but we got here, and little did we know that God already had it planned that we would cross paths with Jamie, and so we met Jamie, started finding out about what she did with
Yeah.
her holistic practice and the things that she was doing, and God just really started opening our hearts to really learn more about it, because after you go through something like that physically, you're trying to see, okay, what is the best thing to
Yeah.
do and how do we go about because you there's so many things and everybody has your own we all are walking through our own, whether it's a
Yes.
physical, a mental,
Or
whatever the
spiritual.
issue
Yeah.
is, or
Absolutely.
spiritual. And so God had a plan. And so here we are a year ago. I was in a total different,
Yeah.
work environment, and Jamie, was kind of venturing out, and God brought us together,
Yeah.
and so we are now here and part of her team, and I'm so excited. But the incredible thing is that with Full Circle Health and Wellness, which is what she does, and then
Yeah.
I help her with that, but in that, we started seeing just that need
Yeah.
again for us to really bring into, I think, into people's lives, just the more
Yeah.
knowledge of how we can go about things and how our spiritual spirit, body, all of it, how it's all tied together,
Yeah.
and how God meant it to work together,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
And I think people don't want to talk about it all. They think it's just one problem or the other. And that's why we wanted to at least offer this, talk about things that maybe you wouldn't talk about with anybody else, but at least you'll know that it's topics that are brought up, it's topics people that are dealing with, and you're not the only one.
That's right. And there's so many, I think, and again, and we say women, but I mean men as well. And I really believe we're gonna offer a lot of things because also in Full Circle, there's a lot of treatments that you've discovered that
Amen.
to help men as well.
Yeah.
So we may refer to, I think, women a lot because we are,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we definitely will. There are so many things that, like my husband, for instance, that one of the things that we kind of laugh about, and he lets us, so it's okay, but we call it post-stroke because sometimes he can't remember, and the thing that affected him was his short-term memory. That
Yeah.
was one of the ongoing effects. But we're so thankful because we found these so many holistic little things that have helped him and vitamins that have helped him to where it's helped just those little areas. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
for, other people, other people wouldn't even notice, but for us,
You
it's
do.
life changing.
Yeah.
So that's been incredible for us. So we are just so excited about
Yeah.
just the topics that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
We have so many, like I said, we're reading. And I would love to be able to do that as well as we're reading things to be able to share with you guys
Yeah.
some of the books that we're
Reading
reading and that we're gaining
knowledge
wisdom
from.
from,
Yeah.
right? And of course, because I do tons of Bible studies, I do lots of research with the things that was speaking at churches and
Mhm.
things that we do. And then Jamie will. She'll be like, "Oh, you got to read this on holistic health," and so those kinds of things are so exciting for me because that's never really been a part of what I've done before. So I'm learning so much, and we're just never, I think, beyond that point of learning.
Exactly.
And so that is what we want. We want to be able to share knowledge. And we're really, but it's going to even expand past the podcast. So we're very excited about this. We're going to do a weekly podcast where we'll come on and we may have guests on with us sometimes. We're going to make it. We want it to be exciting. We want it
Fun.
to be informative and fun. And like I said, just really just
Relatable.
casual where you guys are like, "Oh, they're just normal people,"
Yeah.
because we are.
Because we are.
Yes, we are very normal. And that's what we want. We don't want it to we just want it relatable, but more than that, we just want to be able to say, "Hey, if this can help you,
Yeah.
we want to be able to share it with you."
Exactly.
So we also want to tell everybody about something very exciting that we actually started working on really at the same time as we started talking
Yep.
about the podcast. So it's going to all tie together, but we're very excited. We are going to start the retreats, and they're called Sela retreats. That, of course, means pause, to stop, and really just to breathe. And so we started talking about the podcast and, of course, how we wanted to tie it all in with spirit, soul, and body. And so we thought, wow, how incredible if we also
Mhm.
do retreats that we can do in actually different cities,
Yes.
kind of different communities. And so we are very excited. And so this is our first time to really announce it,
It
right?
is. It is. It's a
So it
surprise.
is, it's a surprise. So Sela retreats, our first one will be September 5th and 6th, and it's actually going to be in Georgia
Yes.
the first time. And so tell us kind of a little bit about, Jamie, what all we're going to do.
So this is going to put
Exciting.
into practice what we are talking about on the podcast. So we wanted to incorporate some of the holistic healing things that we could do. And so we'll offer some of those physical things there, but we'll also have this spiritual. We'll
Yeah.
have someone speaking. We'll have time to spend together and actually, fellowship, but also, make you feel like you belong. Some because we are all going through the same things. And when we're around people and we get different experiences and people are able to see, okay, I'm not doing this alone. And so we will provide the holistic part. So those will be like you'll have an offering for like the IV infusions.
Hmm.
And then there's some speakers, like we mentioned before. And then just overall trying to do the mind, body, and spirit.
Yes, it'll be absolutely incredible.
Ah,
So we have our guest speaker will be Tiffany Lassane. She is going to be coming from Louisiana, and she came and did a service for us here in Georgia last summer. But she is an incredible, just Holy Spirit moves through her, and we really believe, and of course that being the spiritual aspect of what our whole weekend's going to be about.
yeah.
And then Jamie, and then we have another lady, Karen, who is also going to be, she actually, it's going to be at her place in Hawkinsville, Georgia. So more information will be coming, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure, every week until then.
Yep, we will. And we will until it's
So
all booked. And then,
yes.
we'll just tell you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're very excited, and the purpose, I think, too, is that what we're really excited about is that we're gonna do them in different locations. So we're gonna start here. We'd love to do one in Montana. We'd love to do one in Texas,
Yeah.
maybe Louisiana, whoever, wherever they end up,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
But this is gonna be something that we really feel like we want to, again, just spread the word, getting it out to people about how important holistic wellness is,
Yes,
and how it all ties in together. So
absolutely.
that's really, and where women can just come and really get away
Yeah.
and get a better understanding of what that is, and really just take a Sela retreat.
Exactly, because we all need to pause, like, especially
Right.
moms, non-moms, anything in life, we all need to pause and, realize what we have, what is surrounding us, and know that we aren't going through it alone.
Yes, and that's the key. Nobody's in this by yourself,
Yeah.
and so that's what we're hoping to bring. I want to just kind of finish off our little intro today with kind of a scripture
Yeah.
that we really base this on in 3 John 1:12. It says, "Dear friends, I pray that you may prosper, and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in
Yeah.
spirit." And that really is, that encompasses
Everything.
everything
Yeah.
that we really want to be able to talk about. Like I said, on a weekly basis, we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it exciting. And we may throw recipes at, who
Yeah.
knows what we're going to do. So, but it's just a time for you guys to just tune in, no matter where you are or what you're doing, and to be able to just say, hey, I want to stop and learn about what is this really all about.
Exactly.
And we probably will get to the point where we would love to get questions from people. What
Yeah.
topics would you like to hear about?
Yes.
And what things that you're really interested in that we can probably, again, from the spiritual aspect, from the health from
Yes.
from that industry, and the things that Jamie can bring. It's incredible how God's working it out.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Can't wait
Yes.
to have you guys listen to it.
So, welcome to our holistic synergy journey, and we are so glad that you've tuned in. And so, we hope that you spread the word and
Yep.
get the word out about it.
Yep.
And like I said, it'll be a weekly broadcast, and so we're excited to bring that to you. And as we go, we'll just see where it leads.
Absolutely. We can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us, and have an awesome rest of the week. Bye.
And that wraps up another episode of Holistic Synergy Podcast, where spirit, soul, and body come together in harmony.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who could use a little extra synergy in their life. Stay connected with us on YouTube, TikTok, and our other social channels. And as always, our prayer is that you may prosper and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit, and to always enjoy the journey.